the disciple, here's your mother. From that time on, the disciple took her into his home. Come on and look at somebody beside you and say, but can I trust you with my mom? Yeah, go ahead and be seated in the house. Look at somebody on the other side and say, but can I trust you with my mom? One of the greatest issues in relationships is trust. Trust can either make or break any connection. Trust is necessary in order for any relationship to thrive. The last thing that anybody needs is something that you cannot trust. Nobody wants a barber with a shaky hand that you can't trust. Nobody wants to walk on the beach with a flip-flop that you can't trust. And nobody wants a car, because I know I got one, that you cannot trust. I'm talking about a need for trust in relationships of any kind. I ain't fooling with a gas stove that I can't trust. And I'm not getting into a mammogram machine that I cannot trust. And Lord knows we would never ride across a bridge that we felt like we couldn't trust. Trust is mandatory for any good relationship. Trust is tantamount to the success of anything that is supposed to be reciprocal. Is it anybody in here that ever had a cat or a dog that you couldn't trust? Has anybody in here ever had a bathing suit that you could not trust? I know. Is somebody in here that's had an umbrella that in a real storm you would not trust? Yeah, y'all know what I mean. You know how important it is to be able to trust something that you must depend on. Y'all know where I'm going here, because not only is trust important for these types of relationships, trust is also important for human relationships. Whether it be father and son, or brother and sister, or friend to friend, mother to grandmother, all relationships fare better when there is trust. But the truth is, everybody cannot be trusted. And just to make it real, if we're honest, all of us have a certain situation in which we cannot be trusted. Don't worry, I'm going to argue my case right here, because if you put me in a room with a cake and tell me not to touch it, I can't be trusted. Yeah, if that's anybody else in here that come on and say I can't be trusted. Yeah, if some of us get along with a good-looking man or a good-looking woman, we cannot be trusted. And if you're real, OGs, look at somebody and say, I can't be trusted. Yeah, and then for some of us, if somebody needed us to hold a few $1,000s for a minute, we could not be trusted. And that's somebody's testimony. Come on and say, I can't be trusted. Yeah, y'all playing with me in here today, but I know who I'm preaching to. I have to level set. I want to put us on the same playing field, because given the right opportunity and the right extenuating circumstances and at the right season in our lives, we all have something with which we cannot be trusted. Come on and tell somebody, I can't always be trusted.
Can't always be trusted.
Yeah, don't assign me to keep your child for a week and not leave them anywhere, because I can't be trusted. Don't leave the keys to your new whip with me and go out of town. I can't be trusted. Yeah, Javon, I'm not a thief by nature, and I'm dependable most of the time, but I have some situations where I can't be trusted. So trust must be tested. Trust has to be tried. I'm not talking about setting a trap for anybody. I'm not talking about pulling a fast one, but trust that can be depended upon is trust that has been proven. It's good to know that I can trust you with $100 before I trust you with 1,000. It's good to know that I can trust you with a little secret before I tell you my deepest, darkest one. Yeah, they want to know if we can be trusted with their goldfish before they trust us with their dog. Sometimes trust has to be tried. Can I trust you with my extra house key? And can I trust you with one daycare pickup? Can I trust you with my real home address? Before we give anybody anybody too much, we need to know if they can be trusted. Can we trust them with their triumphs? And can we trust them with our fears? And can we trust them with our mail? Can we trust them with our password? But do you want to know what the real true test of trust is? The true test, if you really want to test somebody, is find out if you can trust them with your mom. I know it sounds crazy, but just flow with me for a moment right here. Only the most trustworthy can be trusted with mama. You might loan them your coat, and you might even give them your EBT card. You might let them use your lawnmower, but only the one that you can really trust would you trust with your mama. Mama, can I just talk about mama for a moment? Because mama is more valuable than diamonds, and mama is greater than anything that the world can give, and mama only comes around once in a lifetime. I know y'all don't mind if I talk about mama today, do ya? You see, because you can't trust everybody with mama. Mama cannot be replaced, and mama is too precious to play with. Mama is the one that carried you, and mama, no, you can't trust everybody. I need to tell somebody right real quick, if you want to gauge a relationship, if you want to look at the people you're around, if you want to evaluate your circle, ask yourself this one question: but could I trust them with my mama? Would they be able to handle my mama right? And would they be willing to do for my mama? Could they treat my mama like I would treat her? Can I trust you with my mama? I know you talk a good game, but can I trust you with my mama? I know your pitch sounds convincing, but could I trust you with my mama? I know it seems like you got what it takes, but could I trust you with my mama? Do you mind asking your neighbor real quick and check out your rope? Say, can I trust you with my mama?
I trust you with my mama.
Yeah, you ain't got to say it sweet, because we don't play no games when it comes with mama. Look at your neighbor and say, can I trust you with my mama? Yeah, because here in the midst of our disciple series and on Mother's Day, I believe that we can link this disciple John, Mother's Day, and our spiritual life with that one question. I know somebody said that doesn't make sense, PK, that's going to be a stretch, but I don't think it is, because as we look at how Jesus saw John the disciple, we can use it as a measuring stick for how Jesus looks at us. When Jesus looked at John, he saw somebody that he could trust. He saw somebody that he could depend on and give him something precious. He saw somebody that would fit the bill for what he was looking for. And as we learn while we celebrate, I want us to ask ourselves a few questions. When God looks at us, does he see somebody he can trust? When God looks at us, does he see somebody that he can depend on? When God looks at us, can he find somebody that fits the bill for exactly what he's looking for? Let's see. Let's look at how Jesus looked at John. Let's see if we can be trusted, because there are some qualities in John that we might need to see if we can find them in ourselves. Jesus saw some stuff in John that I want him to see in me. First of all, when Jesus looked at John and determined that he could trust him with his mama, the first reason he knew was because John could be trusted when the relationship transitioned. Jesus looked at his disciple John, and I believe he chose to trust him with his mama because he knew that John's commitment was unwavering. I deduce from the text, Daddy, that Jesus put something precious in John's hands because Jesus knew that John wouldn't change just because his proximity to Jesus changed. Until that moment, Jesus had been right there with John all these years. He'd been keeping an eye on him and leading him and guiding him with a strong, powerful presence. But John could be trusted even when Jesus was not around. Jesus was about to go back to the Father. He wasn't going to be present in the way that he had been with John. But John could be trusted even when his relationship with Jesus transitioned. That's how we measure our trustworthiness as well. Can we be trusted when our proximity to Jesus changes? How will we manage acknowledge the precious gifts that God has given us in the moments when the strength of his presence is not as strong. Because listen to me closely, people of God, the reality of our relationship with God is that there will be times when Jesus does not feel as close as other times. God is always there, but for all of us, the recognition of, the communion with, and the submission to God's presence will change and transition. But can we be trusted when the moments when the fullness of the Holy Spirit is not as strong anymore? Can we be trusted when God is still with us, but we get too caught up in trying to handle our own selves to acknowledge him? Can we be trusted when God is trying to connect with us, Sherelle, but we instead of connecting just want him to do? Can we be trusted when God is trying to mold us, but we will not submit? Come on and ask somebody close. Can you be trusted in the transition?
Be trusted in the transition.
Yeah, because there are going to be moments when it seems like the God that just answered you suddenly goes deaf. There are going to be moments when the God who was just there for you seems to have disappeared. And the question of the day is, can we be trusted when there seems to have been a transition in the nature of God's presence? Can we be trusted when the praise music stops playing? Can we be trusted when the communion is not being passed? Can we be trusted in the transition? Can we be trusted when we change from our church attire to our street clothes? Can we be trusted when the guest prophet leaves town? Can we be trusted when the revival week is over? Can we be trusted in the train? Can we be trusted once the altar is no longer on fire? Can we be trusted when the elders stop watching? Can we be trusted when the lights go down? Can we be trusted in the transition? The Lord told me to tell the people of God that he trusted John with his mama because he didn't have to be there to depend on John to still be John. And if God is going to trust us, he's going to have to be able to trust us to be who we were when he was right there. We're going to ask your neighbor one more question this morning. Ask somebody close by you, who are you when nobody's looking? Yeah, look at somebody on the other side and say, who are you when nobody's looking? Who am I when the spotlight is on me? Who am I when I'm all by myself? Who am I when nobody's going to give a report on it? Who am I when the Holy Spirit doesn't have me slain at the altar? Who am I when nobody's looking? I need somebody in the house this morning to look up towards the glory and say, God, I want to be consistent even when there's a change. I'm going to say, God, I want to be consistent even when there's a change. Do I have any honest folks in the house this morning that'll say, God, sometimes I act a little different. Sometimes I don't act like my church lady persona. Is there anybody in here that knows that sometimes you're not the best billboard for Christ? Well, God told me to just preach to the people real clear today. And he said, don't let the enemy see you shifting. Just because you're not in church, don't let the enemy see you shifting. Just because there's no church people in Walmart, don't let the enemy see you shifting. Just because nobody from your church works on your job, don't let the enemy see you shifting. Because what happens to us is that when nobody is looking, God cannot depend on us to be who we were when we felt like Jesus was right there. But God could trust John with his mama, because no matter where Jesus was, John was still going to be John. Now when you just high-five somebody and say, remain reliable. High-five somebody else and say, remain reliable. God is looking for some folks that he can depend on Monday. God is looking for some folks that he can depend on Friday night. God is looking for some folks disciples' life to help us, we must understand that Jesus trusted John with his mama because John could be trusted when things got bloody. Here John stands as the only disciple witnessing the flow of the blood of the Lamb at Calvary's cross. John stood there and watched redemption run down. John stood there with his mama and watched the flow of his faith. And I believe that this is another reason why Jesus was able to put so much trust in John. John didn't avoid the pain like the other disciples. John didn't run when the rubber met the road. No, John stood in front of a cross that was draped with Jesus alongside Jesus' mama while they both watched what they loved die. John was right there with mama while the power poured out of the Messiah. So John could be trusted, Sharonda, when there was a flow of blood. John could be trusted when the scene was not pretty. John could be trusted when the hard times came. John could be trusted, Rodney, when the picture in front of him was uglier than the prophecy. That's how Jesus knew that he could have faith in John. My questions today, brothers and sisters, is not only can God trust us when the relationship transitions, I also want to know, can God trust us when there's a flow of blood? Can God trust us when the scene isn't pretty? Will we still guard what God gave us when the hard times come? Can we be trusted when the picture of our life is much uglier than the prophecy? Let me make it more crystal. Can we be trusted when our life is uglier than life more abundantly? Can we be trusted when the plans he knows for us have turned out to be painful? Can we be trusted when our dreams begin to run out of us like blood? Can we be trusted when the failure begins to flow more than favor in our lives? I have to ask somebody, if we want to be trusted like John was trusted, can we be trusted when we got to stand right there and watch some stuff that we love die? I don't want to preach this point this hard, Miss Hattie. This point is too hard this morning, so I want y'all to preach it for me. Will you please preach to your neighbor and ask them for me, what will you do when the bleeding starts? Look at somebody on the other side and say, what will you do when the bleeding starts? What will you do when your lights get turned on? What will you do when the divorce papers come in the mail? What will you do when you get defeat after defeat after defeat? What will you do when the bleeding starts? Who will you be, John, when you face the inevitable? What will you do when the end seems near? God wants to know if he can trust somebody in here, even when it looks like things are not going to work out. Do I have anybody in the house this morning that'll say, I know what you're talking about, Pastor Kim, because I got some situations coming up in my life, and it looks like things are going to get bloody. I need folks that are facing some stuff in here. I know you're hot, but will you just wave your hand for me? If you know that coming up this hill week, you got some stuff that's going to be hard to handle. Because your current situation might not be set by the enemy. Your current situation, Sherelle, might be so that God can see how you handle the bleeding. And God is looking for some people that he's still able to trust, even when the bleeding starts. Do I have any bleeding folks in the house? Is it somebody's family that's bleeding? Is it somebody's finances that bleed? Yeah, God isn't trying to break you down, baby. He just wants to know what you're going to do when the blood starts pouring in your life. He wants to know if he can trust you when it seems like things are falling apart. God told me to ask the people of God. He said, when you smell the stench of fatality, God said, can I trust you while it's bloody? I need a hot person in the house this morning that doesn't mind opening up your mouth, doesn't mind lifting up your hands. Never say, God, you can trust me even while it's bloody. Somebody say, God, you can trust me even while it's bloody. I'm not going to walk away. I'm not going to turn anymore. I'm not going to give up on what you told me. God, you can still trust me even when it's bloody. He trusted John with his mama because he knew that if anybody was going to be standing there to watch the blood, then his mama was going to be there. And God was looking for a soldier that he knew could handle the blood and still handle his mama. And you handle the blood and still handle your situation. Can you handle the blood and still handle what the world is throwing with you? God trusted John because he could handle the transition. God trusted John because he could handle the blood. Rodney, I believe that the greatest reason that Jesus trusted John was because he could trust John after the blood. Because in Acts, I read that the disciples got back together and they continued to do the work of Jesus Christ. But the Bible says that they all joined together constantly in prayer. All of the disciples, along with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brother. So that leads me to believe that John took care of Mary even after the blood. John helped Mary stay in the fight even after the blood. And God told me to ask a mama in this house, can I trust you even after the blood? God said, I'm going to bring you out, mama. I'm going to turn things around for you. I'm going to fix what's wrong in your family. But God said, can I trust you after the blood? Can I trust you after you've gone through? God said, I don't need you to turn on me. I don't need you to get lazy in the fight. I don't need you to give up on what you said you would do. God said, can I trust you after the pain? Please just high five a mama in this house and say, I know you've been through something, but can God trust you after the pain? Can God trust you after your cross? Can God trust you after the bleeding? God said, will you bless me after the blood? Will you bless me after the cross? There's somebody in the house this morning that's been going through your own bleeding session. There's somebody in the house this morning that has to face your own problems. But God said, can I trust you to bless my name after the pain? Somebody open up your mouth and say, God, I've been through a lot, but I still bless. God, I'm going through right now, but I still bless you. God said, will you bless me after the resurrection? After you get up, after you get delivered, after you get promoted, after you get married, God is looking for some disciples, men and women alike, that he can depend on to bless them after the blood. Look at your neighbor if you ain't scared at them and say, can God trust you after the blood? And somebody, can God trust you after he gets you up? Can God trust you after he turns things around? But I dare you to demonstrate for it. I dare you to open up your mouth right now God said, if I can trust you, I'll trust you with something precious. He said, if I can trust you, I'll trust you with something that only comes around once in a lifetime. God said, if I can trust you, I will give you something that is more valuable than anything you could have ever imagined. God's got to look at us and see somebody. God's got to look at us and see a disciple that he would leave his mama with. Would God trust you? Would God trust me with something that he knew he'd never see again? Would God trust me with something that he knew he wouldn't have again? Can God trust me? Can God trust me with something precious? If God looked at me today and said, I gotta find somebody that I can trust when I'm not looking. If God looked at me today and said, I gotta find somebody that can stand up when things get bloody. If God looked at me today and said, I gotta find somebody that I know that after I did what I said I would do, after I did what I said I would do, I can still trust them. They're still going to be in the fight. They're still going to stay in the work. And they're going to make sure that everything that's connected to them is also in the fight. If God looked at me today. But could he trust you with your mama? I know we want God to elevate us, but could he trust you with his mama? I know we want God to take us to the next level, and I know we've worked hard, but it might not be an issue of effort. It might be an issue of trust.
Amen.
It might not even be that God doesn't have it for us. We just haven't gotten to the level where he can trust us with it yet. Could he trust you with his mama? No, really. Could he trust you to do what's right? Could he trust me to be the same that I was when he was right there beside me? Could he trust me to give me more and I still remain the same in him? The doors of the church are open. If there's somebody here today that wants to give your life to Christ, come.